an effect that goes with elected office, and it creates some sort of a vortex, and all the morons end up there making decisions for us. It's frightening. Earlier this evening, I was just telling some friends that I was in the elevator. Here we are voting on a bill dealing with the EPA and its regulation of CO2. And I'm in the elevator with 6 or 7 members of Congress. And I'm asking them, well, what do you think the actual proportion of the atmosphere is CO2? And what percentage of the atmosphere is CO2? And I go around the elevator. One guy says 60%, another guy said 20%, and the rest of them said 10%. We're going over there to vote on an issue dealing with the EPA regulation of CO2 in a way that will restrict the freedom of the people of the United States if we fail. You know what it is? Now let me tell you. So if you don't know, let me tell you what it is. It's not 60, it's not 20, it's not 10. The portion of the atmosphere that is CO2 is less than 1/2 of 1/10 of 1%. Got it? So the American people, including the guys who are making all the decisions, have this totally different view because they don't know what they're doing. It's that vortex working again. The morons being sucked into over the voting machines. Okay, we can't let this happen, because these are the same people who are going to be deciding the basic law of technology ownership in our country. And we have the one great thing that has protected the American people has been the Constitution of the United States of America. Thank God that our founding fathers wrote it down and set us up. And remember, our founding fathers were representing us. You know, the American people. They weren't the representatives of the upper class like the people who write the laws in other countries. They knew that the American Revolution was a revolution of regular working people who were demanding their freedom and their rights that were given to them by God, not some king or some upper income group of people who are holding power in their country. And they wrote in protections. And one of the most important protections they wrote in that is so often overlooked is the right to own what one creates. The right. It was written that the word right only appears in the body of the Constitution once, and it deals with people, the people who create, the inventors and the authors having the right to control and own their creation. And why did they do this? Because they understood that that was what would make the American people special. And that's what the elite of this country is trying to take away from us right now. And it's we're talking about a battle that should be uniting every patriot in this country, but they don't know about it. They've been trying this, and it's been 20 years since I've been involved in this battle. And they just keep going. They just keep coming, and they keep coming. Well, that's the way it is with freedom. As Ronald Reagan said, you know, we're only one generation away from losing our freedom forever. And now it's up to us. Ronald Reagan is gone, and it is up to us. And I will tell you that in the next few months, and maybe even the next few weeks, we've got to be active, or this elitist clique of globalists will take away our freedom, because they will change the fundamental law of technology ownership in our country. As if you can change that and it won't change the nature of our country. It's frightening. And as I say, well, today, for example, I had a hearing. I didn't become chairman of the Science Committee. I really tried. Thank you all for those who helped me and tried to get me that job. But I am now the chairman of the Oversight and Investigation Subcommittee on Foreign Affairs. And today I had a hearing about the broadcasting, Voice of America and our broadcasting, overseas broadcasting. And it was very clear to me that what we've got now is the United States of America cannot rely on our corporate elite to be the protector of our interests. And what we were talking about at this hearing were these corporations who are trying to deal in China, and I was being assured that don't worry, you know, we can make sure that the Chinese government can't track down somebody who's, see what they're doing is they're shutting down the radio broadcast, and they're going to do everything over the internet. And I'm saying, but you can trace the internet, can't you? You know, as compared to tracing somebody who's tuned in a radio broadcast. And, oh no, well, we're coming up with ways to try to prevent that. I said, oh, I'm sure our corporate elite, the Google and all these Yahoos and whatever, they're helping out, aren't they? These are the same guys who turned in the journalists into the Chinese government. So we're going to rely on them? Are you kidding? Well, those people, there's about 12, they call them the dirty dozen, I guess, Pat. They've been hammering and hammering to do this. And while we, over the break and since the last session of Congress, went out and went surfing, had fun, and all the rest, they have been lining up this action, and they are trying to slip the changes that they've been seeking for the last 20 years through. They want to slip it by. And so, and it's already passed the Senate. We already have a bill that's passed the Senate. And so today, one of my colleagues, and I won't snitch on him, says, by the way, Dana, we're going to mark up the patent bill next week. Just wanted you to know. Holy cow, that's like saying, we're going to have a debate on whether we destroy the Constitution next week. We didn't think you needed any more notice than this. That's what's happening. They may well have a markup on it. And we have to make sure that if that comes out of committee, that bill does not come to a vote until at least the American people have been able to talk to their member of Congress and lay down the law, because these members of Congress still think that CO2 represents 60% of the atmosphere. We have got to tell them. No one else is going to do it. It's up to us. We've got to do it and put out the maximum effort. And this has always been the way it has. For the last 20 years, we've had, I felt like, was it Horatio on the bridge? Is that who was on the bridge? Yes. And, you know, but that's the way it is. We've got to do our part. We, the patriots of today, will make sure that the Tories and the loyalists didn't win back there. Because our founding fathers who struggled and gave up everything, they did it knowing that we too would carry this fight on. And with that faith, we must keep faith with them, and that means defeating this attempt to change the fundamental rights of technology ownership in our country in a way which will lead to a globalist takeover of the technology rights of the American people. It's up to us now. Ronald Reagan's gone, but it's up to us, and I'm sure you will in the next 2 weeks be as absolutely active as you possibly can on this issue. Thank you very much.